Welcome back, everybody, to the Cirque Show 24/7. This is season 5, episode 1 of AMC's The Walking Dead, entitled No Sanctuary. So, let's get right into it. Alright, guys, it's that time of the year. I mean, this has become like the only way I know when Halloween is around the corner is when The Walking Dead premieres. And it's become like this big event like around the world to where you talk about it, and in school you talk about it, with your friends, you talk about it at work. It's like, are you going to watch The Walking Dead tonight? So I was super excited. I got done, listening to, Carl Papa, lay down some hot tracks, some sick beats, and just go ham on a song. Carl Papa is like, that's my dude. But I'm super excited for this episode. No Sanctuary, coming back really strong. Like, this episode was just super intense. I felt like it was short for some reason, but it was just a really good way to like get people excited for season 5, because they've been talking this up like this is going to be the bloodiest, the most deadliest. And episode 1, they delivered really good. You start off with what really threw me off in this episode, where it's like the beginning, where they have like the then. So they take us back for a second, and we get introduced to Garrett and like his situation. And I thought it was interesting to like show us his situation first before we get to the present day of how he is now, and just like that growth as a character. And I feel like he's going to be I love the governor, so don't get me wrong. I feel like he's going to be a different, intimidating type of character than the governor, because I feel like you're going to relate to him way more than you did with the governor. I feel like Garrett's story is more tragic than the governor's was. I mean, I think the governor, he was just a crazy man who was just kind of pissed off at the world. I think Garrett is a different type of character, to where he's tragic. He's more just broken as a person, and he's been through more than the governor. I mean, the governor lost his like kid and stuff, and he went like ape shit on everybody. But I think Garrett's seen a lot more, and he's been through a lot more. He had to struggle a lot more to become the person he is now. So I thought it was very interesting for them to start off with him like in the past, and then we get to present day, to where we're still with like the group, Rick and everybody. You're still chained up in Terminus. They're trying to figure out a way to get out, and I thought it was super cool, because like when we last left the episode, or last season, the last ending was Rick saying like they don't know who they're screwing with, aka they don't know who they're fucking with. And this episode really highlights the fact that they don't know who they're messing with, and Rick and his group are like superheroes. Like it's mind-boggling how good they are in the zombie apocalypse. It's like scary good, like how good they are in this apocalypse, and like just how dangerous they can be. Like when push comes to shove, like I feel like they're like Hulk. Like they try not to be like this crazy person, but when push comes to shove and you keep poking that bear, like it's gonna like snap at you. And like when Rick said like they don't know who they're screwing with, like these people at Terminus, they don't know who they're messing with like at all. Like Rick is crazy. Like I, he is crazy, and it's just cool to watch. And but I think the highlight of this episode was just 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 like not even like Rick and his group. I feel like Carol just had a moment to where it was just like, who is this character, and why am I so turned on by her right now? Just such a great character development in Carol, because we already knew like she was abused by her husband, and she got through that. She went through like the whole thing with her own daughter, and then she had to look at the flowers with the other two, or with the other crazy girl last season. So she's been through a lot. She's gotten tougher, but this has taken it to a whole nother level, because she's with Tyrese and stuff, and then they stumble across a member of Terminus, and then they take him hostage, and then they find out like Rick and Michonne and all of them, they're actually captured by them. So, Carol takes it upon herself to like, yo, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go try to save my friends and stuff. And it was just a great character moment for her. What pissed me off about this episode, really, I don't know if it pissed me off, but I feel like Tyrese, he needs to just step his game up just a little bit more. Um, yeah, he had a great moment like towards the end, but I feel like he's the man. He's the big black man. You know what I mean? In this situation, I felt like he should have been the one to say, "Yo, all right, let me go. Carol, you take the baby and let me go." At least offered. I mean, I would have been okay if he would have offered to go, and then Carol's like, "No, no, no, I got this." But he didn't even. He was like, "I don't want to. Yeah, I'll take the baby." You know what I mean? So I don't know about Tyrese. I mean, he did have a great moment, but you gotta man up, man. You got your sister there. You got other people. Obviously, he didn't know his sister was there, but you got people who need your help. So but I do like the fact that Carol stepped up. She was the one. She basically was the one to free everybody's ass. And oh man, I just hope they don't kill her in like episode 3, because she had her big moment. So I hope that wasn't like her only moment. But I really do feel like she just had a breakout performance in this episode. Just really shine like how badass she really is, and just that moment, like who did not like just choke up that moment when Daryl actually sees her for the first time again, and my heart just fell to the floor. I was like, oh, oh, right here. You know what I mean? So it was just a lot of stuff didn't really. It wasn't a lot of just different storylines in this episode. It really focused on like really one, and just kind of like Rick and the group trying to escape Terminus. And I love the fact that they didn't stay there too long. You know what I mean? I love the fact that they were, first episode, they're in, they're out. You know what I mean? And that you would expect that from Rick and his group, because they've been through so much. So it doesn't surprise me that they could break out in like just one episode. You know what I mean? But what was just super intense about like just I felt really like for my boy like Glenn, I thought he was a goner for a second. You know what I mean? I thought he was a goner when they like lined them all up and just start hitting them with the bat, and just the effect of that, like just the thump when the bat hits each person in the head and they just fall to the ground after their necks get slit. Just so violent, so gory. Ugh, I loved every moment of it. And just they're getting closer and closer to Glenn, and they keep getting stopped. I was like, oh, just your heart's pounding, like for a fact like Glenn's not gonna die the first episode. But it was just so intense that you believed it for a second. And I love the way Rick, he escapes and just starts like the stabbing mofos like in the throat and stuff. Like he's just become that character to where he's not Farmer Rick anymore. He sees now that he can't really go to that life to like being like secluse and like being like just I'm gonna like just do this and plant a tree or something. He can't be that person in this kind of world anymore. So you see that he was willing to. Well, I thought what was very interesting about this episode was he was willing to go back and kill them all after they escaped, until he saw Carol and stuff, and Carol showed him that your baby's still here. I got your baby and stuff. So I thought what kind of mindset he was in. He was ready just to go full throttle until he saw that it was worth just leaving this alone. But I'm excited that Garrett is in this in the picture now. I'm super like hyped up to see like what he brings to the table to counterpart Rick. You know what I mean? To counteract Rick, because I feel like once Rick really hears his story, they're gonna have a lot in common. But you can't have two. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited for them to just kind of meet and talk. You know what I mean? To have like a sit down and just kind of talk, how Rick and the governor had to talk just to fill each other out. I really want to see that with Garrett and Rick, just so they can fill each other out and just see where they come from each side of the fence. You know what I mean? So but what was really cool, like The Walking Dead now, they're into like this like end credits thing now, because like the episode ends and then you see like this mysterious person. He takes off the hood and stuff, and who is it? Who is it? Oh yeah, he's back. He's back in full force, and I'm super excited just to just to get him back. You know what I mean? I think having Morgan back is going to be very beneficial to the group. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table. I felt like after him and Rick had like the talk and stuff, I really felt like Morgan really like sat down and really thought about what Rick said, and it looks like he's on his way to Rick. So it's gonna be cool just to see them meet back up, and just to see what he brings to the table. I loved just having this show back, seeing how badass each character is, how they're like making like shivs and stuff. Like they basically build like their own weapons in this like just empty like container where they were in. It was crazy, like from belt buckles to like sticks and stuff. Michonne made a full sword, a double-sided sword. Like she upgraded from her regular sword to a double-sided sword. So I thought this episode was just really good. So what do you guys think about this episode? Are you excited to have Walking Dead back? Are you excited that Carol is such a badass? And what you guys think about that moment with Carol and Daryl? I thought it was really interesting that he didn't talk this episode. He didn't talk not once in this episode until after he saw Carol. And what do you guys think about this episode? So please like this video, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought. And as always, this is the Cirque Show 24/7. Carl Papa, be easy.